Hotep, Uncle Jocelyn, peace, namaste. Welcome to another live broadcast of Adults Only. I am your host, your big brother Jahi, and we also are along with Chazz. What's happening, Chazz?
Hey, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. We got to finish this thing up. It seems like they won't let us finish our subject matter, but we're going to definitely finish it up today. And we're going to continue to talk about encouragements on death. Now, this broadcast can be seen every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. Also, we want you to know that this broadcast also takes on the challenges that many people don't like to take on when it comes to subject matter. Because Chazz and I, we are very, very confident in the material that we have. We need you to know it, and we want you to know it because we care for you.
Yep.
Now, today, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see something that says Daily Encouragements on Death, Part 3. That's right. This is Part 3 because we are encouraging people because we know that many of us have lost a loved one and we need assistance. We also need consolation. We also need some type of inspiration, Chazz. And wouldn't you say we need some kind of easement?
Yes, because like I said on previous broadcasts, death is a stress. It could weigh on our hearts. It can make it heavy. And we need some kind of relief in a positive way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we're going to talk because last week we talked about the proper attitude that one could have when we're talking about and revisiting the transition of a loved one. We also said that we should have an acceptance, we should have a gratitude, and we should also have what is called comfort. We should have celebrations. We're going to revisit all of these tonight because basically when we talk about having positive memories, Chazz, we're talking about a wonderful journey in time. Should not memories be a great thought process of what has happened in the past when it comes to our loved ones?
Yes. For number one, like I mentioned earlier, we are going to have some sad times or some negative days that we have with our loved ones. But our good memories should outweigh the bad ones. Don't dwell on the negative ones. Think about it for a little bit, cast it aside, think about the positives, and don't let this, like I said, take your health down the wrong path because it will quickly if you let it get to you.
Okay, Chazz. Well, having said that, I'm going to read this and I'm going to let you take over as far as the rest of these comments because I know you like to get down when you read them. But we're going to be talking about daily affirmations that you may find helpful when thinking about your loved ones who have passed on. Now, last week, we talked about how we should get our insurance policies together, how we should talk to our children, et cetera, how we should sacrifice for them. But today, we're just talking about those who have gone on and how we should have a mindset that's going to help us. So this whole broadcast is going to be about encouragements, encouraging one when they have situations that they want to revisit. So what are some of the things that we can do? Here's the first thing Chazz is going to read, and I definitely want to say something about this one.
Develop rituals in honor of them.
Yes. Go ahead, Chazz.
Yeah, I was going to say if you have pictures, posters, videos, put it on your wall. It's nothing wrong with looking or picture frames. It's nothing wrong with looking at them and admiring them. Also, like I said, even if you have anything loaded to your phone, watch those videos. It can actually have a good effect on you to start your day, and it can actually help you cruise throughout the day before you know it.
Because what you're basically telling me is when we consider having rituals, a ritual is nothing more than a solemn ceremony. You know, it's just a ceremony. It's a commemoration showing respect for the person that one is remembering. In other words, Chazz, we should recall and show respect for someone that we've lost in the physical flesh. And this is why we want to have this discussion because a lot of us don't have rituals. We don't have anything other than the memories, which are great. But Chazz, we should have, like you said, pictures. We should honor those who have gone on before us. We should look at videos that they've left or something. Don't you think that's very important?
Very important. If we say we love them, because here's my thing. How can you say that you love something, but you don't pay it any attention? You never look at videos. You never look at pictures. You never even, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with if they've left a voicemail on your phone, going back and listening to that old voicemail. If you got to let out tears, let them out. These are all things to show respect for someone that has passed away. And just real quick, I want to say thank you to Ray, Sister Moody, Barbara, everybody who's been commenting so far. They've been coming in real quick.
Yeah, and like Ray said, this will include some shrines, if you will. This will include altars. This will include memories, chants, and other acknowledgments, Chaz, because when our loved ones leave this place, we need to realize that a ritual is something that's important. It's like an easement. It's something that's going to soothe our hearts for the moment because it comes back again. But we have to get more serious
Yes.
about developing that lifestyle. Now, many people don't realize this, but most of us we have rituals every year. When we celebrate that crap like Christmas,
Uh-oh.
the
Come
crap like
on.
Easter,
Come
the
on.
crap like so-called New Year's, the crap like Halloween, all these dumb paganistic holidays. That's a ritual because it happens every year, you see, and we're
Right.
bringing back to memory the dumb stuff. But yet you mean to tell me, Chaz, you cannot and I cannot, we should not have something to honor our ancestors, but yet each year we celebrate a big fat white man riding a
Uh-oh.
sleigh with 9 stupid reindeer. Come on, Chaz, we got to be serious about this.
And I want to say real quick, we shouldn't need a man or a woman to dictate when to celebrate. Like you said, we wait for these holidays to come around to start participating in lovely functions. Every day we should be honoring our dead relatives, such as our
Yes.
mothers, fathers, etc. So we shouldn't be so narrow-minded and waiting for the white men to tell us to celebrate, and then we jump out and do it. You should do this every day without somebody having to tell you so.
And I'm going to say something now that may make some people angry, but I'm going to say it because this is how we do. We say things because we love our people and we want them to know. And we don't try to give you shock value. This is the truth value. And this is what I wanted to say about that. I wanted to say that there's something that's called OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. We should have that when it comes to our ancestors, because this is saying that we have something in us that makes us continue to remember them every month, every week, every day. See, this is something that we're so engaged in this thing that we feel that this is necessary. A queen says, I have a picture of my granny on my fridge. I give her a fist bump. All the time. I miss her dearly. Isn't that beautiful, Chaz? Isn't that
Yes.
beautiful?
Yes, she's still treating the picture as if it were a human and actually commenting, talking to,
Yes.
which is totally nothing wrong with that. So shout out to her for that comment.
Another comment says, I visit my mother's burial site when I visit Indiana with flowers and balloons and conversations. Same with my father. She says, I've placed an altar in my home in their memory. This is making me feel great inside, Chaz.
Yes.
People are beginning to, this is what respect is about.
Yes.
Respect is not about going to a building and hoping to see them one day. Respect is about being with them now in our hearts, in our minds, in our souls. And this is why these comments are important. Raymond says, celebrate the ancestors who has departed, enjoy us and in loving peace. Now, isn't that wonderful?
Yes.
This is awesome, Chaz. Now, I want you to also read this one and talk about this one.
Number 2, cherish their memories. Like I mentioned earlier, if you have any kind of videos, any kind of pictures, even calling a relative and say, hey, I was just thinking about Uncle Chris. Remember when me, you, and Uncle Chris did this? Remember when me, you, and Uncle Chris did that? And actually laughing and, just bursting out in laughter over all the fun times that we had. So, yes, we should cherish our memories because I'm telling you, time is flying. And before you know it, we will not have that relative anymore. So appreciate them while they're alive.
How dare you not watch a broadcast that's talking about honoring your beloved ancestors who have transitioned? Your mother, your grandmother, your uncle, my aunt, your great grandmother, your niece, your nephew, your cousin, your friend. How dare you not watch a broadcast that's talking about honoring and encouraging those who have gone on before us? When you'll sit up here and every little holiday that comes up, you're going to put up a tree, you're going to put up lights, you're going to get a chocolate rabbit and all this silly stuff. But yet you mean to tell me you can't cherish the memories of your ancestors? We ought to be ashamed of ourselves, Chaz, because cherishing basically means we're holding someone dear to our heart. We don't want to let that thing go. And this is why it's important that we cherish their memories, because those memories are what keeps us going. How dare we as a society, as a people, not think back on the memories that our ancestors left us, our grandmothers, as I said, our grandfathers. How dare we not take time out to steal away and just to cherish those precious thoughts that they have given to us.
Yes, yes.
He also says, I also have an altar set up with both of my grandparents. See, you can't do this at a mosque. You can't do this at a church. They'll think you're crazy. You can't do this in certain spiritual meetings. But yet, Chazz, in reality, we must set up something to honor our ancestors, because that's the important thing. Photo albums of back in the day, pictures of my family members, present and past. He says,
good one.
They are priceless, he says. Another queen says, peace and blessings. We're talking about daily encouragements on death. See, we like to do things that we know nothing about when it comes to death. But here are people saying something practical, Chazz. They're getting very, very practical about the things that they do. What about this one, Chazz?
Excuse me. It says daily affirmation that you may find helpful when thinking about your loved ones who have passed on.
And then here's another one. Go for it.
Okay. It says now that although they may be gone physically, their love and impact will always remain in your heart. Yes. Especially if you have a parent that has deceased. Always remember the love that they showed you, because yes, we've all done bad things in the past, but for the most part, I would like to say most of our parents installed in us love. They taught us good values. They taught us a lot of important things. So it's important to memorize these things and act them out on a daily basis, because our parents have taught us a lot.
Yeah, because we know that they may be gone physically, but their love should sustain us, Chazz.
Yes.
We know that they're gone physically, but the impact should always remain in our hearts. Sometimes when I get to do things or think things that I shouldn't think, I could hear someone that have gone on, whether it's a cousin, a friend, a loved one, saying to me, Icky, you know, you need to cut that out. And so I begin to reflect on that and say, you know what, that's right, because their impact should still be on our lives today. And a gorilla, many gorillas, they don't see the impact. You see, they always get sad and want to go jump off of a cliff, as you said a few weeks ago. That's not what we're talking about. But they don't want to remember, what did they teach you? What did they teach me? How did they teach us? They often told us to stand up for ourselves, you know, to provide for the family. See, we don't want to remember our ancestors this way. We rather remember them by putting up a stupid tree or something else and feeling sorry for ourselves, when you're telling me that what you're saying, this is so practical because the impact that they should have in our lives. And again, I'm going to wear this phrase out tonight. Okay. How dare any of us as a people have someone who has left us physically, and you and I are not reflecting on them? We ought to be ashamed of ourselves, Chazz.
Yes, and I just wanted to say real quick, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, all these people are ancestors who've passed away. If they could see how we're living now compared to when a loved one dies, I know they will be rolling over.
Ooh,
and we sit back and we always talk about how much we love Malcolm X and how much we ride for him, but it's like, are we really practicing some of the principles that he really stood for? So we're not. So like I said, we need to start showing. And here's the thing real quick, and I don't want to get off on the side note here. We always we're quick to forget someone who's died. We've come to a society now, brother, where nobody is caring about anything anymore, brother. Nobody cares about anything anymore. It's like you read the obituary, you go to the funeral, 12 seconds later, you just don't care anymore. And it's just sad.
And see, this is why I have a problem with a lot of these so-called religions, so-called spiritual meetings, and so-called all these supposedly conscious movements, because many of them, they don't honor the dead. A queen says, I also find comfort from within from them, she says, in my times of distress. Yes, and we're going to talk about that later on, because I'm going to say something that a lot of you may not like, but I want to speak for us because I think it's the truth. Another brother says this. The funny thing is, I had a altar before I was spiritually aware. Beautiful. DNA ancestors memory. All these comments are great. He says, I am Malcolm X naturally. So you see, Chazz, many of us are waking up in this broadcast that we do. And we just want to take time out to thank you all, because this is a serious broadcast. And that's why it's called Adults Only, because the little kids, the little boys and girls can't handle this stuff. Those who are weak-minded, they can't handle this stuff, but they want to run to other places where they feed their minds with garbage. And then they want to take that garbage and try to make that garbage something that we all should be engaging in when it's not. Now, Chazz, here's another one that I know that you're going to talk about on this one.
Number 4, allow thoughts of them to bring joy to your life. Absolutely. When you have a big celebration, as far as sometimes people wait till birthdays, or we wait till that loved one has had a birthday and we sit back and we go crazy in a good way, because we're just remembering all the positive thoughts, all the things that they brought us. And brother, that is a wonderful thing. Even though that they're not with us in the flesh, you're still memorizing and talking about the things that they done with us when they were here on this earth.
Well, Chazz, are you saying, okay, Chazz, what about you saying allow thoughts of them to bring joy to our lives? Well, what about people who allowed it to bring distress, sadness, depression for a long time? What do you do with that?
I think it's okay for a couple minutes, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And then after that, throw it away.
No, I'm talking about every time. I'm talking about every time, Chazz. There are some people who, when they think about their loved ones, they get sad all the time because they haven't been taught that it's not about that, like you're saying now. They haven't been taught that it's okay to have moments of sadness and sorrow. We're not saying you can't, but I'm talking about, Chazz, to the one who always think about their loved one and all they do is mope. All they do is cry. All they do is weep. All they do is moan. All they do is groan. All they do is get depressed. That's not what we're talking about. Okay. Haven't they brought some joy to your life at some time?
So let me rephrase that then. If that's the case, if there's anybody that's watching that does get depressed and they start crying rapidly when they have a loved one or they think about it, I would suggest flipping it. Basically, to look at it from the aspect of these people. It's I'm sorry, I'm blank for words. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, but yeah, when we think of our loved ones, we should not always, Chazz, think about sadness. There should be some joy, as some of these comments are saying. And so this is what we wanted to highlight. And here's something I know you want to talk about.
Number 5, always carry appreciation and gratitude for the time that you spent with them. Once again, we should show appreciation. We should show love. We should show thanks, because we spent, and they always say it's only one of us. We will not meet another person like that individual again. And it's always fun to cherish those memories. Even if you have to get on your phone and watch videos 40 times a day, do that. It'll brighten up your day and it'll make your day go a lot smoother. But yes, always appreciate.
You know, and the more people do rituals, the brain is funny. The brain is peculiar. The brain, it gives us the opportunity to learn how to practice what we say. And when we start having these rituals, these memorials, it shows respect. It shows honor. And how can you say you love someone? And how can I say I love someone, but we never show respect to them except for on their birthday? When we think about their birthday, like we say, Granny would have been 100 years old today, but that's the only time we think of them. You are a disgrace, and so am I. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, and I'm not going to let myself off the hook. I'm not going to let you off the hook. I'm not going to let any of us off the hook. Our ancestors should be so precious and so sacred to us that we shouldn't play these games that every time their birthday comes, that's the only time we remember them. But throughout the year, it's party, like it's, like just continue to live lives that we know we ought not be doing. And Chazz, I think the appreciation is what we're talking about. We should appreciate them. We should have gratitude for the times that we carried with them. And that's very, very important. Someone says, do I, which she was saying, do I to this, express your appreciation and gratitude for them from day-to-day behavior. That's exactly what we're talking about. So this brother is spot on. Day-to-day, Chazz, day-to-day. Now, here's something I wanted you to talk about too.
Number 6, find internal strength in your remembrance of them. Yes, especially when you're tired or you're sluggish and you know you have a couple activities you need to finish throughout the day. remembering a loved one can inspire inspiration. It can
Yes, it
make
can.
you get a lot of
Yes, it can.
emotions that can make you feel powerful. So yes, it is, I would call internal strength from the aspect of out of nowhere, you get a burst of energy and
Yes,
you
yes.
can just
Good
knock
teaching.
out thousands of tasks. So
Good teaching.
yes, I would embrace that.
This is the part of the show that I'm going to say what I said I was going to say earlier.
Okay.
Some of you may not like it. I don't care.
Oh,
Some of us may not want to hear it, but I don't care.
okay.
But this is the part about the internal strength. So if Chazz were to ask me, big brother, why do we need internal strength when we remember our ancestors? The reason why is because of this. And I'm going to be honest, in our situations, some of y'all make me sick.
Oh, no,
No, Chaz. I'm gonna be honest with you.
brother, I can't believe you did that. I think I might get up and walk off.
Let me break this down to you. In life, Chaz, people make us sick. See, we don't want to say that.
Okay.
Some of our family members make us sick. And if anybody's on this broadcast and you don't agree with me, get off the broadcast now and don't ever come back. People have a way of making us sick. And I know listen to this too, I make some of y'all sick.
Oh, come on, bro.
That's how life is, Chaz. Every day is different. And sometimes people get on your nerves. And that's why you need the internal strength, because the internal strength is going to keep you around and not let you mess somebody up or do something nasty to somebody because you're angry. So we need that internal strength from our ancestors, because some of y'all make me sick. And I know I make y'all sick, and some of your family members make you sick, and some of my family members make me sick. So you can sit there, brother. You can front all you want to, but every day when you get a challenge with your family members, I know somebody makes us want to throw up. And so we need that internal strength. And I'm saying this out of love. And that's why we need that internal strength, because situations make us sick. Our jobs make us sick. Our relatives make us sick. Sometimes our children make us sick. Let's talk today, Chaz. Let's talk about this thing.
Brother, I want to give you your credit real quick, because we've done a lot of broadcasts before, and that quick rant that you just did, I would probably say that was some of your best work. I've never really heard you get to the nitty-gritty, because these discussions have to be had. We do have relatives that are like that. And
they make you sick, Chaz, and you know you can sit on this broadcast and you can say that your life is perfect, and I will call you a liar. Some people make you sick sometimes. And see, we say that's not politically correct. That's why I don't watch a lot of broadcasts. That's why I don't watch a lot of fake TV, because they don't want to tell the truth. And the truth of the matter is, I make some of my family members sick, and some of my family members make me sick. Some of your friends make you sick. You make some of your friends sick. So when I'm sick and tired and want to hurt somebody, I have to go into my inner strength and think about my ancestors, my grandmother, my grandfather, my uncles, my aunts, my mother, my all of my loved ones who have passed away. And so when I think about them, it gives me strength to carry on. Because if it wasn't for them, Chaz, I would have knocked your head off a long time. I would have knocked your head off a long time ago.
You in rare form today. You must have drunk some tea or something before the show, because you in rare form tonight.
Well, I'm just being honest, Chaz, because I want to do something to somebody sometime. most of us, we sit around like this queen says. Absolutely. See, she knows, because somebody done gotten on her nerves. See, and sometimes we want to do something to somebody. But we hear the voice of that ancestor saying, "Don't do that." They're not even worth it.
Well, see, but let me say this too. I was going to touch on that, brother. Even though we do get those emotional thoughts, it's not smart, not you, just in general. It's not smart to act on that, because you have the cops coming to your house and you get arrested over something small as an emotion. But yes, when you have those emotions, we have to put them in check.
And they make us want to do it, Chaz. And like I said, I ain't going to do it, but they make me sick. So let's be honest about how we feel, because if it wasn't for our ancestors, this stuff that we're talking about now, Chaz, it really wouldn't mean a lot, because they're helping us. They get us through the day. Here's another thing that's going to be touchy. Listen to this, Chaz. Read it.
Number 7, let every tear we shed be a testament of the depth of our love and connection for them. Yes, like we mentioned earlier, especially at funerals, brother, because when we have funerals, tears are just flying galore. And it's nothing wrong with that for 5, maybe 10 minutes. But the whole funeral, we shouldn't be just, thousands of people just crying, hollering, slinging snot. Do it for 5 or 10 minutes. And then towards the end, you guys should be having a celebration. We should all be getting up, clapping, giving high fives, not as if it was a sporting event, but we should be all getting hyped because these are people who have transitioned. And listen, we are not, I keep saying this, brother, we're not going to be here for 60 million years. We're going to eventually pass on. So my question is, what kind of legacy do we want to live to drop off?
That's true, because their lives are a testament. So when we cry, those who are just watching this broadcast, let me rewind it, because you jump in and you jump out, or you hear something you don't want to hear and you get off because you can't take it. We're talking about encouragements, daily encouragements that we're giving to those who have lost a loved one. And all of us have lost a loved one. We're saying take precious time out to honor them, to respect them, to revere them. This is a serious broadcast. This ain't no damn broadcast that's about, the hokey pokey and all this stupid stuff. This is a broadcast about serious-minded people, and that's why we called it adults only, because adults can hear this, and adults will do something about it, and adults will learn. But see, most of us, we're not interested in this because it ain't shaking our backside. It ain't talking about making some money. It ain't talking about making some money, conning somebody, or lying to somebody, or trying to make somebody think we're better than we actually are. No, we're talking about our ancestors, brothers and sisters, and we should all take part in this. These comments should be flying left and right. Why? Because every one of us have lost a loved one. And you mean to tell me you don't have enough decency in your heart to come and put a comment on the screen to say, I love my mother, father, uncle, aunt, sister, and they keep me going. You too chicken to do something like that. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yes. Number 8, choose to focus on the positive lessons that we've learned from them. I'm going to let you get this one. I'm going to come back after you.
When your ancestor leaves this place, our brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, aunts, when they leave this place, see, you never heard this before. You've always heard, at a funeral, you just heard a lot of snot slinging and all that, which is understandable. But what we're trying to tell you is, when I was growing up, my mama used to always give me lessons. One of the lessons my mother gave me, which I was young and dumb and full of bubble gum. When I was growing up, there were people who were homeless that would come over to our house or come in our area, and they come in our yard, and I would run them away. And one day my mother grabbed me by the collar and told me, boy, don't you ever do that. She says, you never can tell what people are going through.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a dog. If you have the food to feed it, you feed it. Yes. And so that's a lesson that I've learned even at my old age now. When I see somebody that's in that condition, I'm going to respect them, because that was a lesson that was positive that my mother taught me, and I will never forget it.
Yes, that's so strong, because, brother, we see that, especially with that community, with a lot of the homeless people, we are so quick to shoot them away. And like they say, we don't know what the future brings. Heck, that could be one of us in the next 5, 10, 15 years. And I think the homeless people get it the hardest, brother. And it's a shame that they're treated like that.
Yeah, and that's something that we have to remember, because I just think that we have to be honest about this discussion. And that's what the problem is with us today. African Americans, blacks, Nawapians, Christians, Muslims, spiritualists, Buddhists, atheists, whatever one believes, many of us are hypocrites. And I gotta be honest, and I'm talking about myself too. Many of us are hypocrites. See, we don't want to have these kind of discussions, Chazz. We want to go to a building and let that man tell us all this stupid stuff and make us think that we're doing okay, when we know for a fact that we are not honoring our ancestors, and we're not choosing to focus. Notice what it says. We're not focusing on the positive lessons. Like you said, we've forgotten them. What has your mother or father or grandmother or grandfather, someone that have passed away, what have they taught you? This is how I know that we're hypocrites, because the screen that we're looking at now should have nothing but comments about, my grandmother taught me this, my grandfather taught me that, my uncle taught me this, my sister that has been deceased taught me this. See, this is why I know we're hypocrites, because we want to hide behind our cell phones, and we don't have one positive lesson.
We,
that
we
just
we've
talk.
been getting a couple of comments, brother. Now that I think we've been getting a couple of comments about fist bumping their grandmother on the so we've been getting a couple, but like you said, it should be a lot more. But I think a few people do totally get it, and that's the point of the broadcast. We're not trying to change the world's perspective. We're not trying to gain 50 million followers. Even if we get one or even two people, that's all we're concerned about is changing that one or two people's mind.
Okay, Chaz, now flip the script and read this one here. Let's go for it.
Number 9, allow yourself to feel a range of emotions. Give yourself permission to do so. And this is absolutely true. We feel strained to the aspect of we can't show emotion, especially as men. We can't cry. If we cry at a funeral, that's going to show we're weak. No, let it all out. Get it all out of your system, because bottling all that in is a recipe for disaster. That's how people have strokes and then they explode later throughout life because they don't want to show emotions at their funeral or what have you.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yes, up and down is going to be helter skelter, but let it go. It's okay.
yeah. And I want to say to this comment too, allow yourself to feel a range of emotions. When I get sad because I'm missing my loved one's physical presence, or when I'm happy, you can't tell me how to feel. And I'm
Right.
talking to anybody. You cannot tell me how to act. You can't tell me how to think, because that's personal. And so I give myself permission to feel that way. So I don't need you coming to me to tell me how to act when I'm going through a certain time. When it comes to my ancestors, a beautiful king says, Icky, you have always been a good-hearted brother. This is the brother that I grew up with. I
Okay.
went to school with this brother. He's in Fort Wayne, Indiana. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. And the bond has still been strong through the years, through the airwaves, all through the miles. And we still remember the things that we know about each other. And so has this brother. He's been a great friend. Another, he says, my mother raised me to be a fighter. This is awesome, man. This is really good, Chaz.
Yes, it really is. It really is. Number 10, know that their spirit remains with us, comforts us in times of need. I've told you this earlier, brother. Now, I guess I'm going to say it one more time.
Okay.
When we are feeling sad, or we're feeling worried, discouraged, or just feeling angry, sometimes just remembering that loved one will push us through the day. It can help us knock out tasks. It's so powerful when you think about it, what it can actually do to you for the people who are struggling in that moment. So yes, always remember them, because listen, when we pass on, I would want someone to remember me. And if you sit up here saying you don't want anyone to remember you, then I know you lying and you full of crap.
Ooh, oh, come on, Chaz, man. Come on, Chaz. Don't come like that, man. Okay, because this is awesome, man. This is a challenge. And this is what I like doing this broadcast with this brother, because this brother, he's not going to hold any punches. And I can see that he loves us so much that he's going to tell us what's on his heart. And a lot of us, we're so much of cowards today that we can't take the truth. And this truth helps us, because one of the queens said, basically, she likes to hear these because these talks are good. Yes. And since she knows these talks are good, I'm going to share this with her and with the rest of us. And this is what this is talking about. It says this: adults only, encouragement about death. Now look at the bottom part. Families, talk to your children about death the right way. Chaz, don't be telling these kids all this. Don't scare these kids, Chaz. Spooky. Take it away, man. I know you got some on this one.
No, I was going to ask you real quick, brother. What age do you think we should introduce this to our children? What age? In the teens or maybe
I would say when you feel as a parent that your child has an age of understanding and accountability. And I think we should stress it continuously, because even if they're young, they may not get it. But right. The more we tell them, Chaz, the more we put it in their hearts, the more they're going to pick up and say, now I remember what my parents were telling me. Now I remember what my loved one was telling me, because we've got to talk to our children about death. Quit scaring these kids, Chaz. Quit telling them that don't go in that room because so-and-so going to get you. Chaz, we got to stop this nonsense.
And I'm going to say this too, brother. I hate what I'm getting ready to say, but I have to say it. Let's not turn the deceased love. Put it like this. Don't go telling that child, oh, your uncle was no good. He was rotten. He was this and he's that. Quit poisoning their mind. Just tell them about some of the good things that they've done. And as they grow older, they'll use discernment. They'll be able to tell what type of person he or she was. But I think it's a shame for us to sit up here It's a shame for us to sit up here and tell these kids, you know, oh, don't listen to your uncle. He was a deadbeat. Quit poisoning their minds at a young
Whoa,
age.
Chaz, that's heavy what you're saying. And I definitely concur with you because we have too many negative people. See, we talk about life, and this is why I want to take this screen up and I want to show something too. I definitely want to show this because basically this thing that I have here is an ankh. In spirituality, it's all about life. Okay, life. And that's what you just talked about. It talk about their life, something positive. This is all about life. And then here's something too that I want to show you that my niece, this was given to me as a present just the other day. I came from Baltimore and a beautiful empress from Indianapolis, BB. She was thinking about me enough to send me this ankh. And I said, I'm going to wear it. And I'm so appreciative of this.
Okay.
This is something that my niece makes now.
Okay.
This is resin, God bless. She's charging $20 for this. This is an ankh, and it has the continent of Africa. So you see, we have people that are conscious that's talking about life. You must surround yourself with people like that. Now, here's something. Now we're going to get down to some of these comments now because now they're coming through, Chaz. They coming through now. So I want to make sure I get the ones that we haven't gotten yet. Raymond says, go through the mourning stage on to the celebrating them. That's good. Then Raymond also says, so many elders, loved ones, families, he says, one day and friends have passed on. If I did not rejoice over them, he said, I'd be sad for the rest of my life. That's awesome, Raymond. See, this is paying homage to those who have passed on. Sister Rutledge says, at age of when death is coming, if they're around when someone is sick, they need to know then. Yeah, that's good. And then Queen Mudiwa says, my mother passed away in 1996.
Wow.
She taught me, here's a valuable lesson. She taught me, whatever you do for people, do it from your heart and do not expect anything in return.
Ooh, okay, I got to get in on that. I got to get in on that, brother. Just her last comment. It's spot on. Do not expect anything in return because we think in society, whenever we do anything for anybody, if we feel like they're not going to pay us back or we're not going to do anything, we're going to dog them out. We're going to get on Facebook. We're going to slam them all over social media. And her mother was spot on back in 1996. You never, ever, you shouldn't expect anything from people because if you're doing it, expecting something, I think you a phony.
Whoa, Chaz, come on, Chaz.
Say that.
Whoa, come on, Chaz. Moody, why hit us with this? You see, this is what this is all about. This is why I like adults only, because we're serious about this. And this is why it's called adults only. Children can watch it. It's safe. It's not harmful for children. But a lot of us are so sick, Chaz. We don't know how to get and tune into a good show. We tune into those sitcoms that's silly. We tune into the movies. We watch everything on TV. But this is serious because we're talking about those who have gone on before us. But Chaz, here's something I want you to read, and this is heavy.
Okay. Number 11. Remember, those we love don't go away. They walk in our hearts every day.
Wow.
Absolutely. They die in the flesh. This body goes to a casket and we get cremated or what have you. But like I said, in our spirit, they do live with us, and we're constantly should always be thinking of them and even adapting some of these people who have passed away, like you mentioned earlier, brother, they've dropped nuggets on us and taught us some good things. Take that information and use it in our own lives because I'm sure it can help.
Yeah, that's true. We got them coming in now. BB said, I'm glad that I love my aunt. Yes, BB, I love it. I really do. And then Brother Ray says, the elders who has passed on, he says they taught him, here's another one, to help those who help themselves. Whoa, Ray hit us with that too. That's awesome too. When people trying to do the right thing, when people are doing the right thing, he's saying, help them. That's right. Help them. Here's another one. Oh, she says, that's so true. This Sister Rutledge says, absolutely. And then Ray says, their awareness is a part of your awareness because you are aware of them. So, Chad, this is what I'm talking about. These people here that we have that's watching this broadcast, they get it. Yeah, they're serious. And I don't know if I've shown this other image. I know I showed one, but here's another one I wanted to show. Okay. Now, what about this one, Chaz? Single parents, please get serious and talk to your children about death. Get serious, it says, Chazz. Quit playing. Quit giving them video games. Quit giving them tablets. Quit giving them Roblox. Quit giving them cell phones. But Chazz, get serious.
Yes,
And
yes.
talk to your children about death.
Especially the single mothers, because they have they're in a disadvantage because number one, they're a single mother, number two, they're Black, and number three, their kids. Listen, brother, we know kids, they're ruthless from the aspect they don't have a filter. So if you don't teach them what really went on with that death at home and in private, the public school system will teach them.
Oh, wow.
Their neighbor will teach them, or sometimes the media. So yes, we do need to get serious. The single mothers, I should say, should be serious and teach them what's really going on, because you don't want to not say anything at all and then that child gets poisoned through alternative media.
Yeah, Chazz, we always coming down on the single mothers, but we never give them an encouragement. And what we're saying tonight is there may be someone in your family. In fact, we know someone that have passed away. Mm-hmm. All we're saying, and this is so basic and practical, all we're saying is talk to your children about death.
Yes.
Teach them that it's going to happen. Even prepare them for your death. My mother used to always tell me this, man, and I never understood it, but now I do. She told me as a teenager, she says, one day you're going to be sorry. I didn't understand that. I did not understand that. She said, when I closed my eyes, and I thought as a young man that she was invincible, I couldn't even imagine her leaving. But when she left this earth, Chazz, I don't care what nobody says, I was sorry, Chazz.
Wow.
And that's a sorriness that has never left me, not in a negative way, but it's a sorriness in that she prophesied and she knew the longing that I would have. Mm-hmm. She knew how this thing would stay with me until I left this earth. And she would say that all the time. One day, you're going to be sorry. Mm-hmm. And she was just trying to prepare me, which she never could, because to this day, I haven't gotten over it. Wow. And that's all she was saying. This is a deep discussion tonight, Chazz. And
it really is.
We've got to keep this thing going, because this is it.
Number 12. What we once enjoyed and deeply love, we can never lose. For all that we love deeply becomes part of us.
Whoa, that's heavy. That's heavy too, Chazz. So even though they're gone, they're not gone. In a physical sense, they're gone. But in a memorable sense, they're still here with us. In a spiritual sense, they're still with us. Chazz, this is heavy, man. This is really deep, man.
Yes, it is. And I was just going to say quickly, just on that topic, that's why I think it's important to adopt some of the thoughts and some of the ways that they live, because it'll help each and every one of us if we can actually embrace the change. Embrace some of the things that they've done.
Here's a queen says, I tell my son that continuously. And she says, and my mother always told us the exact words, Brother Jahi. See, this is real. Yeah, this is real. And this is why we need to have these kinds of discussions, because these discussions they're going to take us on another level. They're going to take us to a place that we have not gone, because it's safe. It's okay to talk about death. It's okay to talk about transitioning of someone that you love. It's okay to remember them. It's okay to honor them. It's okay to have rituals of them. It's okay to have pictures of them. It's okay to talk to them. One of my friends told me 2 weeks ago that his mother used to like hamburgers so much that after she left, he says that he would go out and buy a hamburger and he would eat the hamburger, but he'd go in a certain room and he would talk to his mother about the hamburger. And I said, that right there is awesome, because that's what she liked to do, you see. Yeah. So he's keeping her memory alive, what she liked to do. And this is why most of us are so weak right now, because we don't know how to honor. And like this says, what we once enjoyed and deeply loved, we can never lose.
Yes.
For all that we love deeply becomes part of us. So that's in our heart is what it's saying. And that's exactly what we're talking about tonight.
Number 13, be the person that your loved ones were drilling us to be. And let me just say this about that.
Okay.
What they're drilling us to be, we may not get that instantly. It may take us 2 years. It may take us 10 years. But the point is, eventually, you want to grasp that concept and implement it. Because once again, I know a lot of us, we're in a microwave society where we feel like whatever they drilled in us, we should have it instantly. It takes time, brother, for some of these things to actually marinate in our minds. So even if it takes you longer, as long as you grasp a concept and implement it, that's the most important part about it all.
Yeah, and I remember my uncles oftentimes telling me different things about, boy, you need to do this. Boy, you need to do that. And I listened to them. It'd go in one ear and out the other. But now that I'm older, I can see what they were doing. They were trying to set me up in a good way.
Yeah.
They were trying to teach me some valuable principles that my pig-headed self wasn't listening to. And so now all these lessons that they talked about, they're coming full circle, man. And they're coming full circle in my heart, because I'm saying at this old age that I am now, old as Methuselah, I'm beginning to say, that's what they were trying to teach me.
Yes.
That's what they were trying to teach me. And this is why many of us, brothers and sisters, we don't want to have these discussions, Chazz. We're scared, okay? We're scared to talk like this. And that's why a lot of our families are struggling right now.
And like you said, brother, that's why I like this show, because these are topics that are serious. We joke with them. We say them in a joking manner at times, but brother, these are topics that have to be had.
Yeah, they have to be had. And this is another thing that people don't realize. When are you going to get serious? When am I going to get serious to start engaging in that which is going to teach us? Now, there are many people that don't have a church home. They don't have a mosque to go to. They're not they're not into spirituality, but they watch this broadcast. So this is their sanctuary. This is all they get. When they want some truth, they're going to tune in for an hour a week. And we thank them for that. Because they're not going to these places being told all this silly stuff, Chazz. All of this nonsense.
Absolutely.
They're getting this straight from the heart, and they know what we're saying is true because they can testify to it, because they've lost someone whom they loved, and they're beginning to see that that person is still within their soul and that they're communicating with that person. And now they're beginning to enjoy that person as they would as if that person was here.
Absolutely. Number 14, don't ever try to get over a loved one just because you miss them. In parentheses, because you can't. And that is something, brother, that a lot of us wrestle with throughout our lives. We're never going to be able to get over someone that we have so much feelings for, so much memories. I think it's impossible. And if someone sits up here and says, well, I got over that loved one, well, I don't think you really loved them.
Chazz, what'd you say?
If you've ever have a loved one that has deceased, and you sit up here and you tell me or you, oh, I'm over my loved one, you couldn't have loved them. Because think about the word love. This is something passionate. Sometimes people say they can't even explain the word love. So you can't tell me that you've got over them. And like I said, if you did, you didn't love them as much as you say you did.
Oh, wow, that's heavy.
And that's a shame. Now, once again, we should always remember them. We should always love them. But brother, what you put in parentheses is absolutely spot on. You can no matter how many times you cry, how many times you pray, you'll never ever be able to get over a loved one. It even takes years.
And quit letting the media tell your dumb. Well, I don't want to put that in there. Quit letting the media tell us how to grieve. Quit letting the media scare us into not grieving. Quit letting social media spook our ancestors out. Quit letting social media make us not want to talk to our children about death. You ought to be into this discussion because this is a serious discussion. You're too old to be sitting up and not listening to something that's going to comfort your heart when we're talking about losing a loved one. Thinking about our departed loved ones, brothers and sisters, it should give us that internal power that we talked about. The resilience to come back from a tough day, from a tough hour, from a tough month, from a tough year. It should give us the energy and the high vibrations, not the low vibrations, those high vibrations. It should bring us great delight. Quit using the words vibrations and energy when you don't know what it means. What me and this brother tonight is talking about, these are high vibrations. These are lofty concepts. These are monumental ideologies that you and I must apply in order to benefit. So quit talking about high vibrations and low vibrations when you don't know the first thing about a vibration when we're giving them to you right now, because they're coming in words, because words have spells, and spells affect our minds. And because we're agreeing and putting these things into practice, we are now having what is called great delight, not depression. And that's what it's all about, Chazz.
Absolutely, brother. Like I said, I don't know. I'm gonna have to start calling you before the show and figuring out what you're doing, because, brother, like I said, we've done a lot of broadcasts, and tonight, brother, you on fire. You carrying the show today.
Chazz, I'm tired, man. I'm tired of me. I'm tired of my own self, because the stuff I'm saying is about me. So I'm just taking myself and I'm putting out there, because some of us are frauds, Chazz.
Yes.
Some of us are phonies.
Yes.
Some of us are hypocrites.
Yes.
Some of us are yes men. Some of us are yes women. Some of us are wannabes. Some of us are not real. We are pretenders. We think we're more than we are. And I'm saying, slow it down, and come back to reality, especially when you're talking about a loved one. Because you cannot tell me, and I'm like you now, you cannot tell me that you love someone who have passed away, and you don't have a ritual that you do. You don't have any kind of altar. You don't have any kind of sayings. You don't write any poems to them. You don't meditate to them. You don't pray with them in your heart. So I know that you're right. You are a phony if you have not done these things, and many of us are. Don't run to a building to let some man tell you or some woman tell you how to honor those who have been deceased. Here's a long one, but let's read this one too, because these sisters and brothers, they want their stuff read just like we run in our mouths. Here it is.
Exactly.
My mind just goes to spirituality. When you love living spirituality, it's natural to do regular lessons and life skills. For me, all my holdups came through religion, at church, playing and watching them play with themselves and everybody's life in death.
Wow.
That's heavy. And I have to say to her too, I definitely concur. Here's something else. It broke my daddy's heart to leave me, but understood from his facial expressions and hand gestures that he was saying to me to be strong. And I carry that in my heart. I feel like crying, Chazz. This is beautiful. I'm serious. This is wonderful. Listen to these comments. These are some intelligent comments. One of the things I am proud of, I never disrespected my parents. Whoa, that's great, Ray. I never harmed. He said, I never harmed my parents. And I never ever lied to my parents, even if I got my you-know-what whipped. Boy, Ray, that just put you on another level. Now, I didn't know that. I thought you were just, shucking and jiving in school. But what you just said gives me a greater appreciation for you, because of the respect that you had for your parents. And that's why it's all important to talk about daily encouragements on death. Quit running from death. Let's talk about it. Come on, tell a friend about this broadcast, because that's what we do. We talk about subjects that you need to talk about. She says, yep, some I didn't love. And she says, still don't. She's keeping it real. She's keeping it real, Chad. She's just keeping it real. That's all.
Yeah.
So let's just continue to go here, because we're talking about the concepts about death and how we can really help ourselves when we look at these concepts. Go ahead, Chazz.
Number 15, enjoy, live your life to the fullest, even without your relatives' presence, because they would want the best for us. Absolutely. I would say most of our deceased loved ones, they do want the best life for us, because if you listen to some of the things that they told us when they were alive, they always told us, do better for yourself. You can be better. You're better than that. I appreciate you. You're strong. So they've always dropped little nuggets of wisdom on us. And yes, they would want us to live our lives to the best. And that's mostly what they would want us to do. For the most of them would.
Right. And I don't want to hear about no spirituality. I don't want to hear about no religion. I don't want to hear about atheism if it's not telling me that I can do what we're talking about when it comes to our ancestors, those who have passed on. If I can't honor my ancestors, those who have gone on before me, especially those who I know, if I can't honor those, my uncles, my aunts, my mother, my grandfather, my father, if I can't honor all of them, I don't want to hear your religion. I don't want your spirituality. I'm like Sister Rutledge. Don't give it to me if I can't, if I can't embrace the ideal that they were dear to me. I don't want to hear it, Chazz. And I will not
Wow.
put myself in that position. I would never put myself in that position, because the first time that one of y'all tell me that I cannot talk to my deceased father, you may get knocked out. No, I'm just saying, Chaz. But I'm just saying, though, this is how dumb we are. Let
Yeah.
somebody tell you, don't do this, don't do
Right.
that. This is ridiculous, Chaz.
Right.
Someone says something else here.
Okay.
He says, well, I can be grumpy. Let's see here. My loved ones. All right, here's something else this queen says. My loved ones are in my veins that flow, the blood that keeps my heart beating even now. Ray says vibrations and energy. He said they're frequencies. The queen says, yep, yep, yep. This is all good. He says,
Wow.
I was too hostile back in the school days, see, and now he's learning, see. But yeah, Chaz, these comments, I must admit, I like our people that
Yeah.
watch this, because
Yeah.
they're always spot on. You go to some broadcast and you got some dumb stuff being said,
Oh yeah.
unintelligent, off the subject.
Oh
These
yeah.
people, this is an intelligent audience. That's why we call it adults only. All these comments are good. And
Oh
and
yeah.
then here's the last one that we're going to put up here, Chaz. Read that for us.
Number 16. Apply all the encouragements when thinking about our beloved who have departed. Absolutely. Apply encouragements. Think about what they've taught us. Because like I said, most of them, they've always taught us good things. And some of them, we've probably forgotten some of the things that they've taught us. So if
Yeah.
you remember them, remember their encouragements, because they will help you push forward and they will help you get stronger in life.
I think the first word, Chaz, the first word in this is what gets me excited. Apply. Don't talk about it. Be
Be
about
about
it.
it.
Sometimes we need to have that mental connection with them so that we can think about them, because this brings us that solace. If someone has passed on and they've died physically, and you're not honoring them, if I'm not reflecting on them, then we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. If you're not watching broadcasts that's going to raise your elevation, that's going to elevate your mind, shame on you. If you're not engaging in serious discussion on a weekly basis, even if it's not this broadcast, if you're not watching a broadcast that's going to encourage you when it comes to this subject matter of death, what in the hell are you doing living? If you're going
Uh-oh.
to just live your life and run around on a cell phone, on social media, watching TV, not getting anything fed into your soul, what kind of person are you? And that's my question to all of us. We've got to slow it down, Chaz. We got to
Yeah.
start getting serious about subject matters that's
Yeah.
going to teach us, that's going to teach our children, because these people are not playing with us. They never had played with us. But when it comes to daily encouragements on death, if you lost someone that you love, and I know you do, so do I, you
Yes.
have to apply their encouragements when you think about them. Because as we said earlier, that's what they want you to do. Now,
Yeah.
there's a couple of things I want to share, and there's some more comments, and we'll get out of here. But I want to say this.
Okay.
Somebody posted this on social media, and I stole it. See, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm going to tell you the truth. So someone said, did you make that up? Nope, I stole it. And it says, make excuses or make improvements.
Uh-oh.
The choice is yours. See, that's what I like. I'm all about applying things. Make excuses or make improvements, because the choice is yours. And then another thing is this: your mind can be your own worst enemy. If you
Yes.
don't control it,
Yes.
it will control you. And this
Mm.
is why the mindset of many Blacks, African Americans, Europeans, Asians, Latinos, whatever you want to call yourself, this is why the mind is screwed up, Chaz,
Yes.
because many people aren't serious about life. We talk about it, but we don't want to talk about life subjects that's going to teach us as adults only, you see. We
Mm-hmm.
want to have these childish mentalities. We want to have these little kiddish thoughts, but adults only, we're talking about encouragements that you need on a day-to-day basis when you think about that person who has gone on before you. Say something, Chaz, when I'm going to put these comments up, and then we're out of here.
That last part you talked about, brother, the mind. Whoever said that, they were spot on, brother. And there's a lot of aspects, they call it spiritual warfare, where everybody always think that it's demons and demonic activity, which there is at times. But in the mind, brother, there's a constant battle in our mind every day. And we have to gain control of those thoughts, especially when it becomes the deceased loved ones. We have to sometimes sit back and think about some of the positive things that they've taught us, because when we're getting attacked from the workplace, when we're getting attacked from the government, we're getting attacked at all aspects. And the last place you will want to be fighting is against your own self in the mind, brother. I had to say that because that comment that you wrote, that was totally spot on. It looks like Brother Ray commented again. He said, also appreciate the good loved ones who are still living too. That's absolutely. I can't hear you.
We got to do a broadcast about that, because here's the deal. There are still some good people in this world.
Oh, yeah.
In spite of the rabble rousers, in spite of the no good rattlesnakes that we have all around us, in spite of the low down, dirty dogs that you see in people's lives, there are still some good people. Yes. And we're going to have to do a broadcast on the good ones too, lest you think that this world has spiraled out of control. To the most degree it has.
Yeah.
But this is a wonderful world.
Yes.
It's the people who make the world not so wonderful. And to that, Sister Rutledge says, yes. This brother says, loved devil. Then this person says, lived devil. And then Sister Rutledge said this: it's terrible to see folks glued to the phone while out and about, just disconnected from life and interaction with those living and those transitioned.
Brother, I gotta say something, brother. I don't know if she's watched, and if she haven't, sister, I would advise you to go back to our older shows that we've done. We did a topic about social media, and that comment, sister, that you put, I hammered that home for about probably 5 to 10 minutes, and she's spot on, brother. It's sad we don't have communication like we used to back in the day, because everybody is so glued to their phones. All they care about is updates on Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, all these apps. And it's just sad that we don't have, and I'm telling you this myself, brother, I still long for those natural communications, but nobody really wants to anymore because these cell phones, brother, I kind of hate that it's gotten to this, but brother, these cell phones have taken a toll on us.
That's right. If you haven't seen our broadcasts in the past, why don't you go back and watch them? Daily affirmations today, we've been talking about daily encouragements on death. Daily affirmations that you may find helpful when thinking about your loved ones who have passed on. I must say this before we leave, because I was thinking about it, but it slipped my mind. But it came back to me.
Okay.
Don't just get drunk and smoke dope and then think about your loved ones. Don't just get plastered, sloppy drunk, filthy drunk, toe up from the flow up, and then want to think about the loved ones and start crying and having this pity party. Why can't you do it when your mind is clear? Why can't I do it when my mind is sober? Why can't we do it just because they are who they are? Why do we always have to wait to get drunk and start crying and acting stupid just because we don't know how to celebrate the loved ones that have gone on before us?
I was going to say, brother, I don't think that person knows how to cope with the death. So that's why they revert to alcohol and blunts. And then some of them are popping Xanax and hydrocodone and all this stuff. So this is what they have to do because they can't cope with it. So, and it's sad to see them like that. And it's even to the point too, brother. Let me ask you just real quick. This is a side note. When people have a funeral, they go to the funeral and they get a bottle of 40 ounce and they pour it out. What's your take on that when they pouring out liquor on the casket?
They're mimicking something they've heard and seen. They don't know anything about it. They saw that on TV. They saw that on a movie called Coolie High, or they saw some. They're not conscious. They're just doing that because they're just faking it. You see, they're not serious about that. They really want to drink, you know. And so the point of the matter is, we are talking about those who have gone on before us.
Okay,
we have to be serious. Because many people don't know what to do, about their loved ones. And so, Chazz, you're right. We done gotten so foolish now where we'll pour alcohol out and say, this is just what people do, you see.
Yes,
And this
yes.
is why we need more people. Share this broadcast, like this broadcast. Tune your behind into this broadcast every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time. You can do that.
Yes.
You need this.
And I also say too, brother, not to slam the way people celebrate, because this is how some people celebrate. Even some people who are firing off guns and stuff after a loved one is passed away. But the thing is, brother, I hate to say this, when you fire off those guns, they say what goes up must come down, and sometimes you strike an innocent person that has nothing to do with it. And it's I don't think people should be shooting off guns to celebrate a loved one. I really don't.
Brother just gave me some news now. He says Evelyn Belcher, brother, Kenneth Belcher, died Sunday. These are people that I know.
Wow.
That I knew. Yeah, that's what happens. Do it when it's real. So sister says, stop faking. And then somebody says on the casket, yeah, they do a lot of crazy things, y'all.
Yeah, they do.
You'd be surprised.
They
You'd
do.
be surprised. You really
They
do. And so this broadcast has basically been, again, about daily encouragements on death part 3. We're going to come next week with a brand new subject matter. So all we asking is that get your kids. They can watch this. This is helpful, because if you don't want to talk to them about death, if you don't want to talk to them about life, we will do that for you if you're scared to. And if you don't know, we will teach you as you teach us. Then we can all learn together, you see. And this is why this broadcast is important, because it's all about us. It's not about me. It's not about Chazz. It's about us. And that's why we take time out to read our comments.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Once we get to 1,000 viewers and they're going so fast, we won't be able to read them all. But one thing about us, we're going to read most of our comments.
Yes.
Every now and then we may miss one or two. So if we do, hey, we just missed it. But this is what we do here, brothers. And this is what we do here, sisters. Sister says, thank you, brothers. I've truly enjoyed watching the show. And another queen says, very important broadcast. Tell your friends, tell your loved ones, promote this thing, and let them know if you really are serious about life. There's 2 brothers that's going to lay it out on the line.
Oh, yeah.
You're honest, and if you love growth and you love intellect and you love insight, you're going to get it. And if you love, most of all, practicality, just being practical, then you watch this broadcast. If you're into dumb stuff, if you're into foolishness, nonsense, this is not the broadcast for you.
Nuh-uh. And like I said, I really do. I appreciate the people who comment and view it, because it shows that they took time out of their busy day. They could have been doing anything, but they know this is a serious topic. Our broadcasts are hard-hitting, and I really do appreciate the people who comment and show support to this broadcast. I really do. We got another comment. It says, Shimotep, always remember your ancestors with a heart. Absolutely.
That's great. So she says Shimotep always, and we're going to say Shimotep to you all, and we'll come back next week. And Chazz has something to say. I'll let Chazz say it, and then we'll get out of here. Go for it, Chazz.
I was just going to ask you real quick, brother, for the viewers, what is our topic for next week? Or
we haven't gotten one yet, but I think one of the comments says something about we might want to look at doing things about some good people that are here. There are still good people that are here, but you know how we act. There's no telling. And if you do have a subject that you want us to talk about, inbox us and tell us what subject you want. We'll research it and study it.
Sure.
And then we'll come back and we'll do it, because this is your broadcast.
Sure.
This is not just our broadcast.
Yeah. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. We have to put this out there. If it's some stupid stuff about what Kim Kardashian or what Kanye West, don't email us that.
Whoa, Chazz, what you say?
No, because we don't want to get to a show to where, oh, did you hear what Jay-Z said about them? Or did you hear what Kanye? I mean, now, unless it's something like, severe where, the man has died and, he has, AIDS or something severe, then maybe. But we're not going to be about celebrity gossip. And then on top of it, we do want some of your suggestions. You might be thinking of something we haven't thought about. Email us, comment, tell us about it. And we would love to do a broadcast on it.
And yet we're going to comb that thing and put it out there. So again, we definitely appreciate all of you tonight. And we wanted you to know that this broadcast is for you. It's for you. Brother Raymond says, Imhotep, heaven on to you all. And he also was being funny about celebrity gossip. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're not into that.
Yeah,
So,
we're not.
Chazz, if you want to, you could say the final words, and
Sure.
then we're out here. This is Chazz, y'all, for Adults Only, speaking on behalf of me. So I'm saying my Shem Hoteps now. I'm not going to say anything else after this. So, Chazz, when you get done, if you point, we're going to shut this baby down. Here we go.
Okay. Thank you to everybody who watched. We are in overtime, an hour and 10 minutes, but I appreciate it. Now, on tonight's topic was simple. It's talked about death, how to teach our young kids at a young age what death is, what death means, even for ourselves, not to mourn constantly when we think about a deceased loved one. Think about the principles, think about the things that they taught us, apply it to our own lives. Think about all the good memories that we've had, the videos that we shared, some of the trips or vacations that you may have taken together with that loved one. Don't have death have you always thinking from a negative way where you're just crying for hours and you don't want to get out the bed and you don't want to go to work and you don't want to cut the yard. You want to always have some kind of fire to you when you think about the death, energy about it. Not that you're crazy, but to get motivated by that, because eventually, brothers and sisters, everybody who's watching this, you know this as well, one of us are going to be in that casket one day too.
Yeah.
So we would want people to remember us and what the things we taught. So I would say do the same in return. And once again, I keep stressing home. Teach our young children, our innocent children, what death is at a young age. So that way, when they grow older, they're not hit by surprise, and don't brainwash them to teach them ways about what we thought about the relative. Don't put that in there. Talk about what they did, who they were, and leave the negative stuff about out of it. And with that being said, I love you guys. I appreciate it, brother Jahi. Brother, you were spot on. And I'm out. I appreciate it.